Pritesh says, looking for an effective way to power all new blog posts to my website. Would it work to send the backlinks to the RSS feed of our websites? If so, what types of link and anchor text? No, that's dangerous. And the only reason I say that is because kind of following on from the previous answer to the previous question, if you're using an RSS feed now, you could do it if you're using like category feeds. Category RSS feeds is one way that you could separate what's present in the feed, right? So in other words, in case you didn't know this, with WordPress, you can get a category feed. So it's, domain.com/category/ whatever the category name is or slug is /feed or RSS. Either one I think works. And that will populate, that RSS feed will only be populated with posts within that category. So you could do it that way. But what I was going to say was, if you're just using the general top level RSS feed, if you have multiple categories on the site, then all of the posts are going to be kind of mixed in or meshed in with that in that one feed. So if you're hitting an RSS feed with links, there's no way to, push certain kind of keyword relevance into certain posts. You're just going to kind of hit it all at one time with whatever kind of links you're using. Also, you're entirely up. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't recommend using any sort of kind of like bulk spam tools or link building tools, especially if you're going to hit like the RSS feed. Bottom line is the RSS feed is not really a great place to send links to. You could do it, but I don't think it's the best place to do it. If you were going to do it, then I would recommend that you use something like category. By the way, you can get an RSS feed from a tag, a WordPress tag, or WordPress tags as well. So that's another way you could do it, is you could have certain posts with a particular tag, and now you can have an RSS feed that only contains those posts that have only contains the posts that have that tag. So that's another way to do it. You can do it with categories or tags. But probably a better way to do it would be to using the same kind of method with category feeds or tag feeds. You could create like an automation. You can use Zapier and Google Sheets for this, for example. That every single time you publish a post in a particular category or with a particular tag, it pushes and automatically puts a URL on a Google Sheet, right? You can do this again with Zapier and Google Sheets, so that it's automated and you can start to populate a Google Sheet that then you can publish the Google Sheet and grab an embed code and then embed that into a page or a cloud hosted page, as we just talked about with Yaks, because you can do embeds with Yaks and cloud hosted pages. We've been talking about semantic mastery since February of 2019 is when I kind of developed or at least revealed what I had developed over 3 years ago now, is the ID page strategy. And an ID page has always been, since I developed that, was an HTML page hosted on an Amazon S3 bucket. And an ID page is a critical component to what we do at Semantic Mastery, and it has been since 2019. Well, in February is when I revealed it. I'd started kind of testing with it and experimenting with it in 2018. Anyway, an ID page is a perfect place to have a Google Sheet embedded, right? That then, automatically populates with all of your blog posts. You can do that also with just your blog site, right? Like, in other words, you can take your blog URL and just create an iframe, right? And embed that in there. And then it's your blog index page that is iframed, right? So your blog archives. So it's going to automatically update every time you publish a post. You can do that too. Where I'm getting at with this is, if you want to kind of separate by category, so by keyword sets or themes, topics, then you could have different cloud hosted pages that you're going to benefit from what I've just described at the top of this webinar, which was, or this Q&A, which was that you can instantly benefit from the high authority metrics of those cloud hosted domain, cloud storage domains. So Google Cloud Storage, Amazon S3, Wasabi Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and as Jesper just said, multiple other types of cloud hostings that he's now integrating with Yaks. So my point is, you could take a Google Sheet and have a category RSS feed or a tag feed or both, populating a particular sheet that is in a specific topic or category, right? And now you could create a cloud hosted page that's optimized for that keyword set, that theme, right? And now you have that Google Sheet embedded in there that's automatically being updated or populated with data from your RSS feeds from that category or the tag, whichever you decide to use. Same thing, you can do the same thing with your category archive pages on your WordPress site, is you can create an embed code from that and iframe that into a cloud page. Does that make sense? You can do both. You can have a Google Sheet iframed into the cloud page plus a category archives page or a tag archives page iframed into a cloud hosted page. You guys see how you start to, if you start thinking about it, guys, like there's so much that you can do with these cloud pages that it's just amazing, because you can siphon so much authority from those pages. And then, as I talked about, you know, we teach this, I teach this in the mastermind anyway. So another reason to join the mastermind, or you can buy Yaks and join the bonus webinar that we're going to do on Monday, the 13th, June 13th, which is how you can inject topical relevance into those cloud pages now that then will flow through to the iframes. If you've got an iframe for your category archives or tag archives, it'll flow through. So now you've got topical relevance in the appropriate, you know, theme. So keyword theme, essentially, pushing into a cloud hosted page that then filters through the iframe into your category archives embed or your tag archives embed or both. So that's flowing through the iframe to your money site into those posts, right? But also you can do the same thing with a Google Sheet, and you can also do it with OneDrive. You could do both. You could do a Google Sheet, so you're automatically populating a Google Sheet using an RSS feed. You can do the same thing with OneDrive, again, through Zapier. So now you've got a Google Sheet, a OneDrive sheet, so an Excel sheet hosted on OneDrive. You can embed those too. And your money site, you know, by category or tag, embedded all into one cloud page that's optimized with all the content for that specific keyword set or theme. And then you hammer that cloud page. You wouldn't want to hammer your money site with links, but you can do that with cloud pages. Why? Because of the authority of those pages. So that's like, there's a number of ways right there that you can just push massive relevance and authority without ever having a physical link, direct link back to your money site, because iframes act differently. And it's a great strategy, guys. There's just a number of things that you can do. And I started to say all that because the ID pages is, you know, I teach this in the Google business process or profile SOP. That's one of the things we do with the ID pages is take all of our citations and tier 1 branded assets and all of that and put them into a Google Sheet. If you buy Drive Stacks, G Sites and Drive Stacks, you're generally going to get a Google Sheet that has all the links from the Drive files and everything in the sheet. You can publish that sheet and get an embed code and put that in your ID page. I've been doing that for years now. But what I'm saying is now with the ability to create these cloud pages very, very quickly, you can get real creative with separating them by categories, topics, keyword sets, or themes, and do all just really kinds of really cool things that are just super powerful. And you just got to be creative, right? And that's part of what we're going to be covering in the bonus webinar. So that's a great question, Pritesh.